everyone. A very good evening. You're watching The Money Show on ET Now with me, Mubina Kapasi. This is your daily 1 hour long dose of personal finances. So here's what we'll be talking about today on the show. The 30th of October, that's tomorrow, is something called as World Savings Day. And while we on The Money Show always emphasize on the importance of savings, why not use this opportunity of the world marking something called as Savings Day to emphasize on the importance of the same yet again. How much should you save? How can you save? Some effective tips to help you save better. And more importantly, where should you park these savings is what we'll be discussing today on the show. We'll also be answering your questions and queries. So if you have any personal finance related queries, if you've been struggling to save money all these weeks and years, then do write into us on The Money Show at etnow.tv. Later on the show, we will also be discussing a very different kind of ETF with ICICI Prudential. You don't want to miss that conversation, especially as ETFs have been seeing a lot of interest from investors in these last couple of months. So for our very first discussion on savings, let's introduce on the show Mr. Pranjal Kamra. He's the CEO of Finology. Mr. Kamra, thank you so much for joining us today on The Money Show. So, Mr. Kamra, you know, we've always emphasized on savings that this, step one of prudent financial habits or practice is essentially saving, spending obviously less than you earn. So, if you could talk to our viewers why, why saving is so important and why everyone needs to save money regardless of their level of income, regardless of their age.
I would like to just say two simple things. One, how rich you are is determined not by how much you spend every month, but by how much you save every month. At the end of the year, if you look at your personal balance sheet, how rich or wealthy you are depends on how much you have saved. So, you might be earning in lakhs, but if you burn it all up, it really doesn't matter. And someone earning in thousands is much better off you if he or she is able to save more. So that's one. Second, till the time we are alive, we'll have expenses, but we won't be necessarily earning in the later part of our lives. So for that as well, we need to save because till our last day, we'll need money to spend, but we'll probably not have sources or monthly recurring income by then. So these are the two reasons why you definitely need to save and save more.
Savings are, of course, useful in a variety of events, circumstances, unfortunate ones as well, and that do transpire in the course of our life, which are unfortunately a part and parcel as well of our life. Ayush, do you think that now, as we are in the midst of, this pandemic, which has translated into an economic crisis, mind you, this is not the first economic crisis, and unfortunately, neither is it going to be the last, because that's how, the economy is structured. That's how the world works. But do you think that during a crisis is especially the time, if you can, of course, to save more money if possible, because you don't know where your life may turn next. You don't know whether you'll have a job tomorrow. You don't know if your business is going to stay okay tomorrow. So is a crisis all the more an important time to save money and perhaps more of it if possible?
Are you asking this to me?
I was just asking you about whether people should try, if possible, and save more during an economic crisis.
Oh, yes, definitely. And, I believe that people, because of this pandemic, people have now realized the importance of saving more because, specifically millennials, we had increasingly this habit of spending more, living on EMIs, paycheck to paycheck. But this pandemic have made people realize that first, one EMI is gone, you take two EMIs more on your head. That is not the way you should be leading your life. And yes, the importance of savings because, a lot of millennials have faced pay cuts, job losses. So I'm sure this pandemic, in a sense, has been a great teacher about teaching people why savings are important, because no matter how much your parents stress on that, it's only when life teaches you, you take that seriously. So in a way, yes, it has been a great lesson. And I'm sure people will be more disciplined going ahead.
Sometimes is really the best master, the best teacher. And yeah, now that all of us have been through this crisis, I'm sure many will emerge from it with lots of important lessons. However, sometimes it would be difficult, to sort of save money until you don't have a quantifiable target. So, Mr. Kamra, let's work with ratios, because that's always easier for individuals to work with. As a percentage of income, how much should really be saved by an individual? How much of their annual or monthly income should be saved?
In terms of monthly income, an individual should aim for saving about 25% at least. And if they are able to save 30% of their monthly income, that's well and good. So anywhere between 25 to 30% is what they should be looking to save.
The other more crucial part is about where to park this money. Many a times people say that, okay, I've saved money, but the thing is it's just lying in a savings account. And right now, leaving money in a savings account is even more detrimental, because you're earning a measly 3% if you're lucky 4%, because obviously interest rates as well have fallen. Even a bank FD today yields a measly 6% on a 1-year basis. So the important thing is now, how do you park this money? Where do you park this money? What would you recommend?
Before that, a step back, before aiming for saving 25% a month, make sure that you pay off your loans first. Because I've seen people, they have money in the savings account, FDs, and yet they are paying EMIs month on month. So first step should be getting rid of your EMIs and then aim for the 25% monthly save. And now coming to the question, how should you park it? So apart from a sum that you think are your emergency fund, which you would need in case of certain emergency. So, if your monthly expenditure is 50,000 rupees a month, have 6 to 8 months of your corpus. So your 6 to 8 months of expenditure would turn out to be 3 to 4 lakh rupees. Keep that in a very liquid form, say in a savings account that has auto sweep turned on. So, this is a very simple thing, but a lot of people don't realize this, that almost in all your banks, you can earn returns equivalent to an FD while keeping your money in the savings account, just by going to your banker and asking to turn the auto sweep feature on. You still retain all the features of a saving account. You can draw that money out via swiping your card, taking cash out from ATM, yet till the time the money is in that account, because auto sweep is turned on, you're earning interest equivalent to FD. So that's one basic financial step that I request all viewers to just call their bankers tomorrow and turn on auto sweep, and instantly your returns double on what you're earning on your savings account. And apart from that, once your 6 to 8 months of savings is parked in the auto sweep turned savings account, next, whether you should invest in mutual funds, gold, or stocks, or debt funds, depends on your goals. So the other part of investing depends on what your goals are.
Exactly. That was actually going to be my next question, Mr. Kamra. You read my mind. But yeah, many people, of course, save because they have a goal in mind. Either it is, a particular event in one's life, or more importantly, it is just simply saving up for a rainy day. Then, of course, you have those events which are saved only because, it so happened that your expenditure was less than income, which did happen for a lot of individuals, especially during this pandemic. So, when it is, for a short term, or you want to park it, for a rainy day, for emergency purposes, where do you recommend individuals really invest that corpus?
So if it's for a short term or for a rainy day, it has to be liquid, and you can't take risk on it because it's your emergency fund. You cannot afford to lose even a part of it. In that case, again, these auto sweep FDs are the best one, not even FDs, because, FDs are slightly rigid. If you break them at a premature time interval, you're charged a certain penalty. So again, for emergency funds, for short-term funds, I wouldn't even recommend liquid funds, because, at times it can take a day to withdraw, a couple of days to withdraw. So if you have to be absolutely safe regarding your rainy day fund, auto sweep enabled savings account is the best one.
Well, Pranjal Kamra, it was a pleasure having you with us today on the show. Many thanks for joining us, and just reinforcing the importance of saving in the minds of all our viewers. Whatever your goal may be, you must ensure that you also invest that money properly for you to be able to attain that goal. And yes, of course, it's also important that first try and pay off debt obligations like, Pranjal did, flag off, and then, you have a certain percentage of your income set aside as a saving. Okay, well, on that note, we'll take a very short break right here on The Money Show. But when we return, we'll be in conversation with Chintan Hari of ICICI Prudential Mutual Fund. Don't go anywhere.